Thank you all for joining us. It is absolutely my pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 Smart Business Challenge Recognition Luncheon. And my name is Mary Rankin. I have the honor of being the City of Ames Sustainability Coordinator, and I also serve as the Sustainability Director for Iowa State University. So our event today is one that includes a number of different items. You can see the different things that we will be highlighting today and the different individuals and initiatives that you will be hearing from. So we're excited to, again, welcome you and for us to get moving with the rest of today. And so for those of you, just as a reminder, we gather today to celebrate this event that actually was initiated by the Chamber of Commerce a number of years ago. And the Chamber was really interested in new initiatives to both challenge their members as well as support the sustainability goals of the Ames community. And so in 2014, the Chamber and the city actually launched the Smart Business Challenge together. And this was in conjunction with our sesquicentennial. And really, we were looking at a couple of things. First of all, we know our business community is doing a number of things connected to sustainability and committed to sustainability. And we wanted to make sure and have the opportunity to really celebrate that, celebrate their commitment and their dedication. As well, we wanted to make sure to connect our business community to new resources, new expertise, and new ideas to further assist them in meeting their goals, both related to sustainability and just generally in serving their customers. And so it's exciting now that we have an intern team assisting this process. And as you'll hear later in today's event, we're very excited about the continued success of this program. We do focus on sustainability in its entirety because we understand that while environmental sustainability is important to truly have a sustainable future, it really is a balance of facets, not only environmental, but also economic and social that bring together really our vision for a collective sustainable community and a sustainable future. And so with that in mind, we look at these different areas of action as we consider checklist opportunities and noting those successes. And then there's an opportunity for businesses to be recognized at 4 different levels according to their commitment to sustainability. And again, you'll hear more about that in a little bit later in today's event. But I want to now turn it over to a wonderful sustainability champion for our Ames community, offering us so much support to formally welcome us to today's event. Mayor John Hala, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
I'd like to welcome you to our annual recognition of our business community's commitment to and you're working towards a sustainable future here in Ames. Last year, as we're all aware, has been an unprecedented one. What I'm really proud of is how our community worked together to address the challenges posed by the pandemic. And many of you here today demonstrated leadership, agility, and commitment to serving our community. And to each one of you, I want to say thank you. While we were experiencing a turbulent year, the City of Ames still made great strides in implementing sustainable initiatives. These included, first of all, breaking ground for our community solar project last summer. And just before the end of the year, we had the first kilowatts of solar energy flowing into the city's power grid. Secondly, the community-wide greenhouse inventory was completed and was presented to City Council and accepted. Within the past 2 weeks, the city has released several sustainability-related RFPs. The first one is soliciting a consultant to help us develop our community's first climate action plan, which will assist us in creating a plan to further reduce our greenhouse gas emission. And the second is requesting a consultant to help us evaluate a minimum of 7 different scenarios to enhance the city's waste to energy operations. Last year, in light of the pandemic, the recently implemented FWD, which is Food Waste Diversion Program, was transitioned to a no-cost service with extended 24/7 drop-off hours. To date, this program has allowed us to divert over 13 tons of organic material from the landfill. And although we were not able to hold our annual Rummage Rampage last summer, planning has already started for the 2021 event, which is scheduled to take place July 30th through August 7th. So today I want to recognize each one of your businesses, the sustainability measures you have already implemented, as well as your commitment to doing more in the years ahead. And on a special note, I want to offer congratulations to both McFarland Clinic and Morning Bell Coffee Roasters in completing their recertification as Platinum certified businesses. Well done. I know we'll be hearing more about this achievement later in today's program. So this time I welcome Mary back to introduce today's keynote speaker. And again, thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, Mayor Hala, for a wonderful welcome, and all of us for your ongoing support for sustainability in our community. You know, when we were considering a keynote speaker for this year's event, we really considered, as Mayor Hala was mentioning, the times that we have been through, the challenges on so many different levels, particularly within our business community, but yet that amazing creativity and resilience that has shown through. And obviously, we continue to strive forward in our visions and our goals, and all of you have made that so very apparent. So we wanted to find a connection that not only would acknowledge the challenging year that we've had as a community, but really connecting that this is happening across our state, and as well, so much resilience, so much creativity, and so many incredible resources are available, not only to continue the journey we're in now, but to really catapult us into the future that lies ahead. And so with that, we found Robin Bostrom. Robin Bostrom serves as a business specialist with the Iowa Economic Development Authority, working with the Downtown Resource Center and the Main Street Iowa team. Prior to joining IEDA, she served as a local program director for West Union, Iowa, a nationally accredited Main Street program in Northeast Iowa. She has also worked for numerous nonprofit organizations, served as executive director for Fayette County Economic Development, and is a small business owner herself. She earned a BA from the University of Northern Iowa and is a graduate of the Heartland Economic Development course. She enjoys working with Iowa communities and small business owners to help them develop their full potential. While in West Union, Robin assisted in the planning and development of a $10 million streetscape project in the historic downtown district, which won numerous awards for sustainable design and stormwater management practices. Robin, we are so thrilled to have you with us today. Welcome.
Great. Well, thank you, Mary. You can go ahead and move to the next slide, if you would, please. It's, again, my pleasure to be with all of you today. As Mary said, I am with the Iowa Economic Development Authority, and I've been on the team there for, this is the start of my 7th year. So excited to share with you a little bit about what we're doing in our agency. So next slide, please. So for those of you who may not be familiar with the Main Street Iowa program, we are under the Iowa Economic Development Authority's umbrella, but we work with 55 communities across the state. And you see here a map that indicates all of the communities that we're working on, and Ames is one of those communities. The Main Street program really is economic development within the context of historic preservation. So our focus is on traditional downtown historic commercial districts, but we also do some work in historic commercial neighborhoods. So for example, Historic Valley Junction in Des Moines and the Czech Village Nubo district in Cedar Rapids are just a couple of our Main Street urban neighborhood districts that we work with. And we are a program of the National Main Street Center. So next slide, please. And as I said, we are affiliated with the National Main Street Center, which is a nonprofit national organization. We follow the Main Street America 4-point approach. So we look at economic development and sustainability on 4 different points: economic vitality, the design of a district and the buildings that are within that community, the organization where we work to build leadership and have a strong organizational capacity, and really to ensure that we have broad community engagement across the community. And then promotion, which is the marketing districts defining assets and helping to build on those. So my focus on the team is in that economic vitality kind of blue point. So we really help to build a diverse economic base within our districts. And we do that in a lot of different ways. But again, this national approach, this 4-pronged approach, is a nationally trademarked approach. It's a proven transformational strategy that we know works. It's used by many states across the country. And Iowa has been involved in this program for a little over 30 years. So next slide, please. And so I just wanted to share with you a couple of the program opportunities that Ames has. Ames has been in the program since 2009, and John Hall is your local director that kind of directs the program for you. It's under the umbrella of the Ames Chamber of Commerce. Great partnership there with that organization. And these are just a couple of the programs that Ames has participated in recently. We have our Challenge Grant Program, which is a bricks and mortar grant program that allows up to $75,000 on historic building renovations. And so you see there a project that's been done. The Market Studies and Strategies program is one that I direct for our team. And Ames just went through this program in 2017 and had the pleasure of working with Mayor Hala on that project. That's where we really analyze the market that Ames is working on, and we look for opportunities on ways to strengthen that market and other opportunities that maybe the city and the downtown district could capture that they aren't currently capturing now. And then after we do the market snapshot and the market studies and strategies, we have another program called Ready to Recruit, where we help our communities learn how to recruit sustainable businesses that maybe are missing from their district. And so that's another program that could happen down the road. And then I also have the pleasure of directing our Open for Business grant program, which helps on business expansion for programs that are located within your historic downtown district. And Nook and Nest was an applicant into that program last year. So next slide, please. And so we just wanted to offer a couple of pictures. Yep, there we go. So this is the Hala Architecture Building. This is the challenge grant that was completed in 2016. Again, this is an annual grant program that we have through Main Street, Iowa. We receive some funding that is every year from the legislature that is dedicated to this program. So it is a great program that helps us take historic buildings and give them a new life. We firmly believe that the greenest building is a building that's already built. And if there's a way that we can help that building have a new life and move on into the next 100 years, that's always a great asset for us. So next slide, please. Oh, and I was just going to also mention the Sheldon Munn building downtown is also another building that has taken advantage of that program in your community. So. This slide just shows, again, some of the program opportunities that are available to those communities that participate in the Main Street program. So we offer all kinds of workshops and trainings. These are open to any resident, any business within the community. Again, we offer market data and demographic information, so we can pull that information for your community at any time. There are many times that we can also focus that down. So if you're looking for some information, please reach out to us. One of the major things we do is provide that local staff support for those directors and volunteers within your community that are working on revitalization efforts. So we offer lots of support to those folks. We do a lot of business workshops, and that's one of the things that I spend a good portion of my time on, is helping to build that capacity to have more sustainable businesses from just an operation standpoint within our communities. One of our major services is that we do provide free design services to our districts that participate in our program. So we have 2 design staff on staff right now who can help business owners kind of look at, and building owners look at new opportunities and help them develop those from a they don't do construction drawings, but they do help just in those designs of opportunities that might be existing. We offer state conferences for people across the state in our network. We also provide scholarships to the National Main Street Now conference, so that folks across the state of Iowa can learn from others across the country. And then we help to share best practices that are happening across our district and case studies. One of the things we always say in Main Street is that we are really good at R&D, rip off and duplicate. There's a lot of things that you can learn from your neighbors. And again, sometimes we don't have to start at ground zero. So we really do. And one of the things I really enjoy about being a part of the Main Street Network is there is a good sharing of information from all of us all across the state. And that's a real value to the program and to those who participate. And next slide, please. And so as we talk about sustainability and economic development, these are some photos from my home community, West Union, which is where I kind of cut my teeth on sustainability and how that affects economic development. West Union was chosen in 2008 to serve as a pilot community for the state of Iowa. The state in 2008 was, again, looking at many of the same things that you in the community of Ames were looking at when you created your Smart Business Challenge and your sustainability efforts in your community. They were looking for ways to help our communities have less impact on the environment, to be more energy efficient. Were there business operations that were contributing negatively to those issues, and could they be corrected? Historic buildings many times can be very efficient, and they can also be very inefficient. And then we were also looking at quality of life issues. And so these are just some photos of, as Mary mentioned in my intro, we did a major streetscape project and a redevelopment sustainability project that involved porous pavers through the entire downtown. There's 6 or 8 blocks of porous paved street paving in West Union. We incorporated numerous bioswales to deal with stormwater runoff. And if you remember what was happening across the state in 2008, that's when we were having some pretty significant flooding that was affecting many communities in our community across the state. And so we was in West Union, we were doing this project. This project also has geothermal hookup, a downtown well. There are 132 wells on the courthouse square that feed a line to all 60 buildings within the downtown. So you see a little bit of that. And then just recently, the city has been involved in doing some solar. So just a lot of sustainability efforts. And that's really where I learned about the importance of sustainability on many fronts early on in my career. Next slide, please. And so it's been very exciting for me to learn everything that you all are doing, working on sustainability in the city of Ames. And so one of the things that we know is that it takes many people and many partners to have success in this arena. And so I'm just so pleased to see and to learn about everything that you are doing in Ames. Most of my work has been with the Main Street organization, but you guys just have such great partners as I've learned more about this Smart Business Challenge. And so I just want to congratulate all of you and continue to encourage you to work together on this effort, because the needle can be moved and it takes all of us to do that, but you guys are really having some great success. So congratulations to all of you that are involved in that today, and continue to move forward in that arena. Next slide, please. And so Mary asked me to also just share a little bit about what the Iowa Economic Development Authority has been doing for sustainability efforts, and why I don't work in all of these areas. I did want to just share a little bit about what the agency has been working on. Obviously, renewable energy has been a huge factor in what the state has been working on, and we are now in the state of Iowa the #1 in wind energy. And so these are just some screenshots from our website. In 2020, with the onset of COVID, the state really worked hard to update their website. And so if you haven't been there yet, please do take some time and take a look at the website to learn about some of the things that are happening. So wind energy is definitely one of them. You can see, you can review the action plans and the reports on the status of where that is, but Iowa is now #1 in wind energy. So next slide, please. I first learned and got a lot of the information in our home community in West Union on sustainability from the Iowa Energy Office. And when we first started, that was at Iowa State, and it has now moved to IEDA, but you will also find information there from the Iowa Energy Office, and they're really charged with growing sustainability for the state. And so one of the things that was also recently updated in 2020 was the Green Streets criteria. And if you're not familiar with that, it provides guidance for communities and businesses and building owners on things that they can do to address sustainability within their operations. And so if you go to the website, you will see a link there to Green Streets, and it will take you right to that updated work that was just completed in 2020. So next slide, please. And then as you scroll down a little bit, if you do want to learn more about the Green Streets pilot communities, there are several, not just West Union, but Woodbine, Storm Lake, and Bloomfield have also done other pilot projects with different focuses. And so you can take a look and learn more about those projects if you're so inclined. And then there is also the project, the interactive map that you can find at the bottom of the page there. As you can see, there are many, many projects that IEDA has assisted with in some shape or form all across the state, everything from watersheds to porous paving to solar to wind projects, all sorts of things. So you can click on that map and you can see a lot of the work that's been done if you are so inclined to learn more. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, the Iowa Green Streets criteria was just updated in 2020. And if you're not familiar with this, it is a great resource for all sorts of facets of sustainability. So it touches on things, everything from public health to energy efficiency, a lot of water conservation efforts, if you're interested in porous pavers or bioswales, all those sort of things that deal with stormwater runoff and water conservation. There's information on smart locations for buildings, operational savings. If you are an office building, or how can you help reduce what you're paying for operating your building? And just a lot of really good information on sustainable building practices. So I really encourage you, if you're not familiar with this resource, to really check it out. It's a meaty read, but there's a lot of really great information involved in this resource, and you can access it all right from the website. So next slide, please. And then as the mayor mentioned earlier, and all of us are aware, COVID-19 has just kind of turned everything upside down, and it has been a major challenge for many businesses all across the state. And from the very beginning, IEDA got right on board. We dealt with lots of ways. Our entire agency has been working on COVID response and now COVID recovery. And so there are dedicated, there's a dedicated places on the website that address all of this. And so you can check out that tab on the website if you want to learn more. Next slide, please. And another major effort that the state has been involved in is numerous COVID-19 relief programs. And I'm just sharing a little bit about some of the financial impact that the state has had in all these different programs. I spent a lot of time in the early days of the COVID lockdown dealing with the Small Business Relief Program. This served small business owners all across the state. So there were numerous. We also had the Business Disruption Program. The TSB is a targeted small business program. So that was launched for those to deal with those sole operators. So as programs were rolled out and there were gaps, the state really did try to step up and deal with things as best they could. So this just shows you a little bit of some of the impact that the state had in the recovery and relief efforts as the pandemic moved across the country. Next slide, please. And again, this is just another slide showing some of the programs that were available from a financial aspect, the utility disruption prevention program. So we really wanted to make sure that small businesses didn't have their power shut off because they couldn't pay their bills for whatever reason. Then they also rolled out a residential disruption prevention program. And then there were also some programs for livestock producer relief, as we all know, and then a beginning farmer debt program, and as well as a fund for the biofuels. So I think the state really did step up and try to protect the economic sustainability of our state in the best way that they could. Next slide, please. And then another major platform that we worked on was the shopiowa.com platform. So this was launched to help small businesses. One of the things we quickly realized is that many businesses across the state of Iowa did not have an online presence. And it was a pretty big hurdle for many of them, retail businesses, service businesses, all kinds of businesses. And so the Shop Iowa platform was launched in August, and the state is covering the cost for businesses to have exposure and to list products on this site through June of 2021. So again, if you haven't checked out the site, we encourage you to do so to really support the economic sustainability of the businesses in Iowa. So when we talk about sustainability, it is the environmental sustainability, things that happen with our environment and the natural built environment. But sustainability also affects the sustainability of our businesses, and that they're strong, and that we hope that they will be here post-recovery after the pandemic is past us. So business has changed, and we are doing our best to continue to support those businesses across the state. So next slide. Again, there are so many additional resources that can be accessed, and many of you are aware you have a great partner with Iowa State in Ames, but also our energy providers, our SBDC, the SBA, SCORE, and of course, Main Street America. So lots of great resources out there that we can all tap into. Next slide. So I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here to share with you today. I again want to offer our congratulations to all of you that are doing everything you can to help the community of Ames and to be sustainable within your community. So we have a little bit of time here for questions. And again, thank you very much. I enjoyed being with all of you today.
Robin, thank you so much. So much good information. I think some really good reminders to us. I love the R&D, rip off and duplicate, because I think, you know, truly from a sustainability standpoint and a sustainable future, it's not important that everybody does something completely unique and completely different. I think we learn from each other, we utilize the resources and the, you know, expertise and the different techniques and processes that work for our business and share that with other businesses. That's been a really wonderful part of the challenge, I think, is that being able to share different ideas amongst businesses, I know has been something that's been particularly exciting to see as well. And then I think also all the different things that you have mentioned, all the different programs, all the different initiatives you've been involved in. I think one of the things, although they have environmental pieces, they have economic pieces, you know, really at the, you know, at the end, at the center of everything is that it all comes together to bring such wonderful quality of life to our communities. And that's what we all want, you know, for our current and our future generations, most definitely. So with that, excited to look at some of the questions that have come in.
Hi, do you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. What's your question, Nadav?
So thank you very much for the presentation. It was really wonderful to get that overview and a lot of new ideas and information in there. I think that you would have potentially an interesting point of view on Ames and on our efforts here, because you can compare it well with what's happening in other cities. So my question would be, what do you think are, it's like the classic SWOT analysis for Ames, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, the threats. What are we missing? What do you think we should be doing?
Well, I would say, I think you are ahead of many communities across the state in the efforts that you're doing. Number one, because you've started to talk about it. And in my community, we didn't talk about it until something bad happened, until the flood hit. It was kind of like, oh, we don't have to worry about this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh. So I think you're ahead of the game in that. And I would say you have a great resource with Iowa State in your community. I think sometimes though, when we have efforts, the challenge is always making sure that we share information and that we get that out to as many people as we can. So events like this, though, are certainly starting that and continuing to do that. So I would say just continue to do the work that you're doing, continue to talk to your neighbors, your friends, and to all the partners in your community. And I think you'll see success continue to come down the pipe for you all.
Okay, thank you. Hello, I'm Ron Franz, and I'm with McFarland Clinic. I want to thank you, Robin, today for the presentation that you gave to all of us here at Ames that are on this call. This is really insightful to see these different programs being explained the way you have today. So that's been very good, and I'm excited about a lot of the different options that are out there, and that you're working hard to get this communication about energy efficiency and sustainability across the state of Iowa. So kudos for you and for all the team for putting this together today. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. Again, there is so much good work happening across our state, and we can all learn so much from each other. So I'm looking forward to being able to share with others what I've learned from all of you in Ames. So you're going to end up in a future presentation.
Well, that certainly sounds exciting. Thank you, Robin. I did actually have a question. When I was reading your bio, you mentioned the Heartland Economic Development course. I think that could be of interest to some of those joining us today. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so that is a course that is available through the Institute of Decision Making at the University of Northern Iowa. It is now I'm not for sure if it will be happening this year due to COVID, but basically the program, you go for a week and it's a deep dive into economic development, learning just from so many practitioners all across the state. Our class, I believe, was held in Kansas City. And so it was a great resource. It was wonderful for me to learn from financial, from bankers, from developers, from all different sorts of folks. So again, if you reach out to the Institute for Decision Making at UNI, that's a program that they offer.
Thank you. That sounds so interesting. Maybe you can pop that link to me. I can include that in the follow-up email that we'll be sending out to participants.
Yep, I'd be happy to do that.
So Robin, I was curious, there's so many resources that you have you've provided and you've talked about. As a business owner in our Ames community, as one of our Smart Business Challenge members, or generally any of our businesses, considering looking into a particular grant opportunity, what would you say would be the first steps in doing that? Because there are just so many. So, I mean, could you sort of offer a little bit of a roadmap or outline guidance for just even toe dipping into these opportunities?
Well, there are so many opportunities. So first of all, almost all of them have some kind of online capability where you can read a little bit about the program to better understand, what the requirements are, what the guidelines are. So you can do a little research that way. But probably the first thing is that just really understand, what do you and what does your business need? What are your gaps? If you're looking for something for energy efficiency, what sort of help or assistance are you looking for? And so, because many times we have people that come into grant programs and they haven't really done their research, they don't really understand. And so, you can waste a lot of time looking for something that you soon find out, oh gosh, I don't even qualify for this. So first step is understand what assistance you need. And then number two, do a little online research to find out about those programs. if you're looking for more information about any of the programs that I've mentioned today, our website does have information on all of those. If they are Main Street specific programs, then of course reach out to John Hall at the Chamber, because he has all of that information about any of the programs that we offer through Main Street, Iowa.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. We will make sure and include John's contact information as well. Thank you. So I don't see any other hands raised. Please, please, any comments that you might have, but I will just continue to ask a couple of additional questions. So I was so interested in this. And also, I was so excited. I know recently I stumbled upon the fact that Iowa is now #1 in wind energy, actually developed capacity, not just in potential, but actually developed capacity, which is so exciting for our community. So that was a little rah-rah for our state. I was curious about the Green Streets pilot communities. Can you talk a little bit more about sort of the when communities have decided to get involved, sort of motivations and those sorts of things that you have seen, maybe different ways that communities have wanted to get involved in that program, and then just things for consideration?
Well, I think the big thing is, first of all, talk to folks. So, the way that it happened for us in West Union is that because of our affiliation with the Main Street program, they knew that my community was talking about doing a streetscape project, that was on our radar. We were needing to improve some of the infrastructure. And so when we had talked to our partners and we were trying to gain more information, they approached us and said, hey, we're looking for somebody who might want to, a community that would be interested in doing a pilot and thinking about doing some things differently. So originally West Union was just thinking about doing a plain old streets, we were just going to do new concrete and that's all it was going to be. And then by having this opportunity, we learned about so many more new techniques. And so, as I said, the downtown now has 6 blocks of porous paving. We have hundreds of bioswales and bioretention cells. The geothermal is one of the first in this country that is for a downtown district. So again, a lot of cutting edge. While all of that is great, it also presents some challenges in, again, that learning curve, because many people didn't understand, what does this all mean? How does this work? A lot of people didn't even know how geothermal worked. And so while there are stubs to all 60 buildings, there's only about 15 buildings currently utilizing the system. So there's just a lot of learning that needs to happen. But again, when the state knows that certain communities are looking at things, when they see opportunities come up, they many times reach out to those communities and just to see if there's any interest. So that's kind of how it worked for us. And then we learned to be grant writers. I had never written a grant prior to that project, and we submitted about 45 grants for that project alone. So the learning curve can be pretty steep, but because of the affiliation that we had with the Main Street program and with the Economic Development Authority, there was a lot of assistance, or at least they could send us in the right direction. And that was very much appreciated.
Over here, we have a question from Donald Combe, the Director of Electric Services.
I'm raising my hand, but I don't know how to do it on the system. Good morning, Robin. I'm curious, can you talk about what the state is looking at in terms of electric vehicles and electric vehicle charging?
Well, I'm not directly involved in a lot of that work, but I can tell you there is work going on in that arena. And we in West Union put in a car charging station 10 or 12 years ago. So it was still pretty cutting edge at that point. I know they have been doing some work. There is an online resource that shows maps, and again, just letting people know. Stephanie Weisenbach with the energy team is doing a lot of work on the electric vehicle. I know they're working with, they've been working with the bus lines in some of the major cities. Des Moines Metro is rolling out some all-electric vehicles from a public transportation standpoint. So I don't know a lot of individual specifics about that program, but I can give you Stephanie's contact information. And I know that it is something that is on the forefront and something that they're working on.
Thank you.
Well, Robin, thank you so much. Again, so much great information you have shared. And I think that for a number of people joining us, I know I am absolutely guilty of this. When I go to a presentation, I just need some digestion time. So we will, for everyone joining us, we will be making Robin's presentation available. So you'll have that information as well. I should have had this up as we were talking, but this will come to you following and our follow-up email as well. But here's Robin's contact information. And so Robin, I think that I can easily say that you are open to being contacted with any questions or to help people redirect themselves to the resources that would be available. Is that correct?
Certainly, yes. If certainly reach out to me. If I can't answer your questions, I'll do my best to direct you to the correct person that can. So, and again, we
that
want to
sounds
know
wonderful.
across the state. So don't forget that we are a partner here to assist you.
Yes, indeed. I think that's a really important point. So many different programs really covering the entirety of our state. So thank you for sharing all these great resources, for being with us today, and for managing through all of our virtual excitement on our journey here today.
I just wanted to mention and thank you that the Iowa Economic Development Authority is an incredible partner with Ames. And Debbie Durham and her team have been unbelievable in terms of advocates for the Ames community. And it's a little embarrassing to have you showcase my former business's office building, but it did help us it allowed us to do some more things in terms of sustainability that we wouldn't have been able to done otherwise. But what's interesting was that when Debbie was here one day, we were talking about just the program, and she said that they don't necessarily have an altruistic motivation. She actually have found that when they invest in downtowns, the blocks around the downtown area actually get more redevelopment also. And so it's just very encouraging to see that there's a bigger view than just one individual business. And the other thing I just want to mention too is that the city of Ames is trying to do, and Don Kahn can attest to that, we have proposals out to try and do a geothermal well field for some housing in our old middle school. So it's very interesting to hear you talk about at West Union how you have a shared geothermal system in the downtown area to serve 60 businesses. That's pretty fascinating. But anyway, thank you for your presentation. It was really very good, good stimulus. And thank you again for your partnership and believing in Ames and all the support you've done. It's been phenomenal, and we look forward to that continuing.
Great, thank you so much.
Many thanks for those additional comments, Marihela. Very well spoken and very relevant. All right, Robin, well, again, thank you.
The City of Ames is actively engaged for decades in conserving resources, reducing energy demand, and promoting diversified waste management and landfill diversion through a variety of initiatives and commitments. We are focused and committed to becoming a more sustainable organization and ensuring a sustainable future for many generations that will follow. As an organization, the City of Ames is committed to environmentally sound choices in how we operate, in the equipment we purchase, the services we provide, and the policies that guide our organization's decision-making. Additionally, the City of Ames encourages sustainability through the programs and services we provide to the citizens of Ames, and we constantly seek out ways to help citizens make green and greener decisions, balancing the need to be fiscally responsible with our goal of creating a cleaner, greener community. The City of Ames is dedicated to making the smart choice and the sustainable one. I hope you enjoy this glimpse of a few of the many ways we embrace a sustainable Ames.
the City of Ames is offering a food waste diversion program to help keep food waste out of the landfill. Participants may use their own container or buy a starter kit, a bucket, lid, and instruction brochure. When your bucket is full, take it to the resource recovery plant. Orange containers on the north side of the plant are available 24/7. The food waste diversion program is a great alternative to putting organic waste in the trash. To purchase your $10 kit, visit Resource Recovery Plant or City Hall Community Center. To learn more, visit cityofames.org/FWD.
The Smart Business Challenge is designed to offer any size business offering any product or service the opportunities to celebrate their sustainability and achievements, as well as make connections to relevant information and resources towards effectively serving their customers and fulfilling their and the city's commitment to conservation.
I had been doing energy conservation at McFarland Clinic for a long time, and it was in little steps at first. And as I continued to do energy rebates through the City of Ames, I was introduced to the Smart Business Challenge. And I thought, I really want to be a part of that. I'm doing this already. I'm sure there's information I could learn from others, but on top of that, I bet you there's some information I could share.
So my name is Nadav Meir, and our organization is Morning Bell Coffee Roasters. So we're a specialty coffee roasting shop. Also, we sell bags of coffee, both on a wholesale and a retail level. And we're really part of the specialty coffee, third wave coffee movement nationwide, where we focus on buying directly from farmers and working on showcasing the quality of the beans that we buy and working hard to select coffees. We really try to do a lot of sustainable things for our lives, and that always bleeds over into our business. So for me, I thought that it would be a lot of fun to go through the motions with them at the very least and see what information would come out of that process of trying to see where we stack up as far as our shop sustainability compared to the average in Ames.
I've worked with City of Ames on multiple projects. We built their facility in Ames at 121 12th Street. It's right across from McFarland Clinic. It's a business support office. And we utilized City of Ames for all the lighting rebates, all the electric motors. We even went as far as with the geothermal systems and all the geothermal pumps. We have about 100 and so wells at that location, geothermal wells, that helped us really achieve a significant energy rebate. Out in West Ames, we installed a big solar array panel, one of the largest in the city at this point, and it's really kind of a silent sleeper. It's 990 panels, and it's on our West Ames clinic at 3600 West Lincoln Way. That system there, we received a little over $130,000 rebate from the City of Ames, and we're offsetting about almost 45% of the utility load for that whole facility. So it's been a tremendous success. I've utilized other programs through the City of Ames for lighting rebates, and also a big chiller. We had to replace the air conditioners at the main facility, and that required us to update those electric chillers, and the City of Ames helped out with that process as well. So they've been very supportive and willing to work with us on our projects. So I just say, people, give them a call. What I realized once I joined, it's not what I really could benefit, but what I could share and then learn from the others. There were so many different things, different industries are going on in the City of Ames that you can really go, hey, that's something that I can use where I'm at to achieve that next goal. Energy conservation is not a race, it's a marathon. You just keep going and you just keep going, and there's other things that you'll learn from all the other participants. So it's very valuable to attend the Smart Business Challenge team and become a part of that.
I think the most surprising thing to us actually at the end was how many of our processes here already had sustainability in mind, and how that was really part of some of our core competencies as an organization. And it's kind of built into our DNA, thinking about keeping our energy footprint as low as possible. I think the low-hanging fruit to join the Business Challenge is to get that free energy audit, and to have that much thought and love, to have folks come into your business really in, with the mindset of, let's look at what you're doing now and how can it be better, and not having to pay money for that other than the time that you spend to do it. And for me, that was a tremendous value.
I think it's been beneficial because it's brought awareness to energy conservation, and energy conservation isn't just electricity, it's natural gas, it's recycling that we do, it's the products that we use in our business. It's the vehicles that we drive. We have courier service that runs every night, so we're looking for the highest economy vehicles that we can for moving the medical stuff around in the evenings. But it's a constant evolution when you look at energy with LED lighting, compact fluorescence conversion, up to LEDs, and how you use those in the facilities.
The process that was really very beneficial was going through the process of getting our place inspected by the energy consultants, and really looking at our past energy usage, and looking at any places in our physical infrastructure that were lacking that could make our business more energy efficient. So that was an extreme benefit to us, something that we would have had to pay for out of pocket to do, that the city and this program was willing to do. The other thing that was very helpful was to go through the checklist with them of kind of all the business processes that we do in terms of composting our organic material, using all compostable packaging, and kind of delving into what we do already and what maybe we could do better in the future. Like, we are a consumer of paper cups. We do a lot of takeaway to-go coffee here, and I know that's for the future something that I really want to work on, but it's not clear right now what the replacement is. But even though I feel like we have this platinum level designation with the city, we still have some room to do better. It was really good to go through that process with the group and look at all our different business practices, and to think through with this group, what do we do well, what do we do okay, and what can we really do better, where are the lagging points. And there were things that for us that came out of it that we didn't know about. We didn't know that our roof is insulated to like R40 value or something crazy. We didn't know that at all. We thought we just didn't know that we were that well insulated. So stuff like that that'll come out, which is nice for you to know. And to also learn about the best practices of other businesses that are in Ames. I think that was of tremendous value to see how we lined up with them.
It is really amazing how different industries, it doesn't have to be just McFarland Clinic. There's lots of other participants in the Smart Business Challenge, but any business can actually benefit from energy conservation, and you don't have to break the bank to do that. It's small steps. It's small lighting updates to your entrances that burn all night long, reduces energy. It's the lavatory faucets, or maybe it's that old toilet that takes 5 gallons of flush. It's small steps will get you in the right direction for energy conservation.
Thank you to everybody involved with the program, and you guys are making Ames awesome and really trying to make Ames a better, more sustainable place. And businesses are low-hanging fruit. We can all do more, but businesses especially need to do more.
So we were excited to provide some updates on some of the unique programs that we have going on, and certainly that are open for our businesses to take part in. And also, it was so wonderful that we had information and interviews from our 2 platinum businesses that have completed recertification. So it was especially exciting for us to be able to highlight their commitment, to share their journey with everyone, and to offer them congratulations as much as we can virtually, in spite of not being able to be gathered as we normally are. So now I'm going to go back to our presentation. Alrighty. So now it is my pleasure to move into getting some some updates from our electric services department. And I would mention that, really, when we started this program, it was a discussion amongst electric services. We were really looking at energy consumption. We were looking at energy reduction opportunities for our businesses and how to ensure that all of those pieces were well informed and well connected. And it's just grown from there. But always, this has come from the heart and soul of electric services. And so it's my pleasure to introduce Don Comm, City of Ames Electric Services Director, and joining him also is Kaylee Barrios Lane, City of Ames Energy Services Coordinator. And Don, I am turning the floor over to you. Welcome.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mary. And thank you for everybody that had a part in the video that was just run. I appreciate hearing those testimonials from some of our customers. So thank you very much. I noticed in there, first of all, I have to say, I'm glad that Bill did not run our Christmas commercial on solar, because I would have been a little embarrassed. And for those who don't know what it is, you're going to have to talk to Susan or Bill, or somebody will share that with you. It has something to do with a bunny suit. That's all I'm going to say. The other thing I wanted to bring up was early on in those slides, the video, it talked a little bit about our electric vehicle charging infrastructure. And I think there was a quote in there from me saying that if these 2 sites work well, we should look at putting in some others. So unless Kaylee is going to talk about it, which I don't think she is, I should mention to you that we did get some state grants. Actually, it's the VW grant money. So we'll be putting in a level 3 DC fast charger here at the city. That's going to go in off of Highway 30 down at the Come and Go, just off of Highway 30. That's the extremely fast electric vehicle charging infrastructure. We're also planning on putting one at the intermodal facility near campus. And we're also looking at the site out by, there's McFarland West, there's a Hy-Vee out there, and then there's also the Fairway. So I want to recognize all those 3 major tenants. So if any of your customers come to that site, feel free to use a charger. We believe they'll be in service sometime this spring, Kaylee. All right, she's nodding. Good. What I wanted to do, Kaylee's going to talk a lot about our sustainability programs and the things that we're working on. I thought I'd go a slightly different direction with my 2 slides, and then I'll give the rest of the time to Kaylee. So if you could advance the next slide, please. I think it's Mary or Bill. Thank you. So for those who don't know, City of Ames Electric, we are part of the city. We're currently right now going through our budget proposals before City Council. We've gone before the council earlier in the week with our capital improvements plan, and early part of February, we'll be bringing our operation and maintenance. So why am I talking to you about that? Because I think that what we do as an electric utility, in addition to looking at sustainable and sustainability, we also want to look at reliability, and we also want to look at the costs. So I'm going to spend just a couple of moments talking about what we have and what we are proposing up at the state level, or the state level, at the city level. Mayor, you could be governor someday, so that's why I said state level. So let me walk through my bullet points here real quick. So basically, our capital improvement plan, our O&M plan too, we're going to be focusing on the capital resources. We want our power plant and the power plant improvements to basically increase the reliability of our units. In burning refuse-derived fuel, it wears and tears on our units, but we're going to put additional money towards that to make them not only more reliable, but be able to burn refuse-derived waste, because we don't believe in putting that into the ground where we can avoid that. Either recycle it or use it and turn it into fuel. We're also looking at replacing a lot of old, outdated equipment. As everybody knows, on August 10th, we went through the derecho. So we've got plans in our midst that's going to look at beefing up, strengthening our transmission and higher voltage distribution system. I can't say that we're looking at down to the individual households. It won't really affect some of the smaller distribution lines at this point, but we are looking at strengthening the transmission system and the major grid within the area, and that will be coming out in the next year or two. We're also improving the power plant boiler tubes. Again, as we burn refuse-derived waste, we have to look at new technologies in terms of strengthening our tubes. Where I'm all leading with this is that last bullet right there. What staff is proposing in the next 5 years is we're not planning on any rate increases over the next 5 years. So as you're looking at your bottom line when it comes to energy and electricity specifically, we are not at this point planning any rate increases. Next slide, please, just real quick. So the areas that we are looking at spending money, we have a proposed budget at City Council now of about $25 million. These are for capital projects only. And we're looking at spending that over the next 5 years, and we're going to deal with transmission. And I can go into much greater detail on that. But if you really want to hear about all of our projects, you can listen in on the council meeting that we had last Tuesday, and it's online and can be accessed through channel 12. Distribution, plenty of projects in distribution, and then I'm really trying not to take up too much of Kaylee's time because that's where the meat of the topic is. And then we're going to spend a lot of money looking at different infrastructure within the power plant, to make them black start capable so that we have more control over our destiny during extreme weather emergencies like we have with the derecho, and make them prepared to run for a very long time into the future. With that, I really want to turn it over to Kaylee and let her talk about all of the projects and many of the things that we're working on with sustainability. So thank you for your time. Thank you all for coming today.
Thank you, Don. You left me all of the most fun things. I'm excited to announce that our SunSmart Ames Community Solar Project is now up and running. So it went into commercial operation on December 23rd. So far, we've seen 85,000 kilowatt hours delivered to the grid. So participants in that program will start seeing those credits for energy that came off of the farm in December. They'll see that on their February bill with their January usage. So if you are participating in the program, take a look on your bill to see that the effect of that participation. If you're not participating in the community solar project, there's still time to sign up. You might miss that very first bill credit, but you can go online to cityofames.org/solar to get your business or your home, or send a power pack to a nonprofit organization that you care about here in Ames, and be part of that community solar project. Next slide, please. Another fun project we're working on is a collaboration between Iowa State University's EPRC, the Iowa Army National Guard, IEDA, Suncrate, and PowerFilm. So they've put together this, what they're calling a solar crate. So it's a crate of Powerwall batteries with solar panels on top and a diesel generator as a backup, also built into the crate. So the purpose of this is to serve mostly emergency operations in outage situations. And we are helping them by hosting it right now near the power plant in Banshaw Park so that they can do some testing on it while it's here. On and off, it is offering free car charging. So there's an EV charger attached to the crate. If you have an EV and if you charge over at Banshaw Park normally, it's worthwhile to stop in at the crate first and see if there's energy to charge. And that will be available for the next probably 6 to 9 months, or until there's an emergency and they need to dispatch the crate. Next slide, please. Also, I wanted to mention, and Mayor Hala also mentioned this previously, that we're excited about our greenhouse gas inventory that we've completed recently and an upcoming climate action plan. So as we're working on all of these fun little projects here and there, this is the project, the greenhouse gas inventory and the climate action plan, that really allows us to give a vision and a trajectory to this overall project so that they all fit together. So we're excited to have that kind of larger strategy that's guiding all of these projects that we're spending our time on. Next slide, please. And I also wanted to remind you that we do have some new rebates that we introduced last July. Two of the most notable ones are electric vehicle chargers at the commercial level. The rebates are $500 per port. So if you're looking at providing EV charging at your business, that's the rebate that you'd be looking at there. And heat pump water heaters, which are electric, and they're a whole different kind of technology than your traditional electric resistance water heaters. They can save you a lot of money, especially if you have high hot water usage. So the rebate is $400 on those. There's also a tax incentive that most people would be able to apply for on that purchase, and they can save hundreds of dollars per month. So depending on your water usage. And I know that McFarland Clinics has also looked into different water heating options. They're looking at some solar options. And if you are interested in those, give me a call. We can talk about those as well. Depending on your situation, we might have rebates available for those. And as Don mentioned, we're also installing new electric vehicle chargers. We'll have a level 2 EV charger at the Ames Intermodal facility, a level 2 EV charger out at the West Campus near the Fairway Meat Market and Hy-Vee and McFarland West, and the fast charger near the intersection of Highway 30 and 35. And with that, I will hand it back to Mary and Edgar.
Great. Thank you, Kaylee, and thank you, Dawn. So many good things coming up and that we have to look forward to and that have happened in the last year. My goodness, what a year for electric services. So I am excited now to introduce our Smart Business Challenge intern, the individual who is coordinating our Smart Business Challenge for the 2021 academic year. And I'm going to turn the floor over to Edgar Guillen. Edgar.
Thank you, Mary. I'm very excited to share all the new updates we've had for 2020. Next slide, please. The challenge currently holds 35 participants. This is an increase from 31 a year ago. 29 of those businesses have received their certification, increase from 25. We currently have 3 businesses certified in bronze level, 10 in silver, 5 in gold, 11 in platinum, our largest group, and 7 uncertified businesses are still in the process of acquiring a certification level. Since last year's luncheon, the challenge has seen 4 new businesses join. They are Danfoss, Hastings, Garton, and Botegger LLP, the Salon in Ames, and Lockwood Cafe. Welcome all to the challenge. Next slide, please. We also had 1 business leave the challenge. Unfortunately, Random Goods, after many years in Ames, made the decision to retire and close their business. We wish them all the best luck and thank them for all their sustainability efforts and commitment. Next slide, please. We have also observed 4 businesses complete their certifications since last year. Both the Salon in Ames and KHOI community radio station achieved silver level. Congratulations on your certification completion. Next slide, please. In addition, Danfoss achieved gold level and Plus 39 Italian restaurant received silver level. Unfortunately, shortly after completing their certification, Plus 39 announced they were closing. For the Smart Business Challenge team, it was still important to celebrate and acknowledge their commitment to sustainability at today's event. Congratulations to both on completing your certifications. Next slide. The recertification process was introduced during last year's luncheon and officially kicked off after that. 3 years after a business receives their initial certification, our team sits down with you for a timely, efficient discussion to ensure your current checklist still represents your business's sustainability commitment. Through this process, we also highlight new opportunities and updated information to provide you with the most current, accurate resources to assist in furthering your business's sustainability goals. Once recertification is complete, we are excited to celebrate you through recognizing your achievement in Cityside as well as other City of Ames social media platforms. Any business in the challenge that is scheduled for recertification in 2021 will receive a note from me in the coming weeks. We look forward to highlighting your great work and impressive commitment. Today, we are excited to announce 2 businesses that have completed their recertification before the turn of the new calendar year. Next slide, please. First, I'd like to present McFarland Clinic, who continues to hold platinum level certification and finished their recertification in October 2020. Congratulations on your recertification completion. And special thanks to Ron Franson, Smart Business Challenge Liaison, on behalf of McFarland Clinic. Next slide, please. Next, I'll present Morning Bell Coffee Roasters, who holds platinum level and finished their recertification in October 2020 as well. Congratulations on your recertification completion, and also a special thanks to Nadav Mayer, business owner and Smart Business Challenge Liaison, on the behalf of Morning Bell Coffee Roasters. Next slide, please. Again, congratulations to all our new businesses, our newly certified businesses, and our 2 platinum recertified businesses. I look forward to working with all of you through the remainder of the 2021 academic year. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me or Mary with any questions or resource requests. We are happy to offer any assistance we can. Also, please consider inviting any business to join the challenge. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Edgar, for that update. And as Edgar mentioned, we're always excited to invite new businesses, answer any questions, connect you to resources that may be beneficial for you, our Ames business community members. So we have just maybe a couple of minutes if there are questions that anyone has related to the update from city staff or the Smart Business Challenge update. And what I might do as people are maybe pondering this, and certainly you can always email us with other questions you have after you've digested our presentation today and our event today, and we're happy to connect you to the resources to have those answered. But I do want to ask Bill Schmidt if he could join us. Bill is our superintendent for the Resource Recovery Center, and we had a little update about the wonderful food waste diversion program that we have within our community, but it's been so successful and just had a recent change that I think would be of interest to those joining us. Bill, can you talk on that for just a moment?
Sure, I'd be glad to, Mary. We just, as you said, have had such tremendous response on the food waste diversion program. We've transitioned to a new larger container. We've located this on the northeast corner of our property. It's just to the north side of the building at the corner of Bourne and 2nd Street. We've got a larger 3-yard container out there that people can put their food waste diversion into. It's much easier to drive up to the container. You can bring your car right closer to it. It's safer, it's easier, and we've also moved the glass bin over there because we've seen such a tremendous outpouring on glass recycling too. So we have both those down there now at street level, so it's very easy for people to drop off 24/7, no charge. They can take advantage of that. And with that, we had tremendous support of our great pumpkin disposal this year too. We got rid of over 17,000 pounds of pumpkins people dropped off our facility rather than put them in the trash. We're able to take those and get them composted. So it's great support for the community, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill. Yes, this has been such an impactful program. And just to remind businesses that this is something that even in your break rooms, making that awareness about disposal options beyond the landfilling for these resources, I think is really beneficial for your employees, as well as possibly, visitors that might also see this connection and this commitment to sustainability. Ron Franson, I do see you have your hand raised. Please go ahead.
I just wanted to ask Bill a question. He said composting. Where does the waste go that he's collected? Really kind of curious on that. When you're going into a composting state process, what does he do with it then?
Sure, Ron, I'm glad to answer that question. Currently, we're working with an industrial composter in Southeast Iowa. They come and pick up the material and haul it down there and run it through their commercial compost. What we are looking at, actually, in an hour and a half, we've got a meeting with water and pollution control people to take a look at the anaerobic digestion that they have at their facility to see if there's a way that we can introduce our material into their process that they can then recover the methane off of it, use that to either generate electricity to offset the electrical needs at the facility, or use it, the heat off of it, to keep the anaerobic process working. They then take the solids that are left over and field apply it as compost there around the facility. So we'd be able to really reduce our carbon footprint that much more by being able to handle the material locally rather than having to truck it down to Southeast Iowa.
That sounds great. Thank you for sharing that. That's really informative.
Certainly.
Yes, and I think that is such a great program to be talking about and new initiative to be talking about. And we will look forward to some updates next year, Bill. So thank you so much. And thank you for everyone attending again. We are at that time. So I am going to quickly turn it back over to Mayor Hala for some closing remarks.
Thank you, Mary. First of all, great job in being nimble, and I think we all understand that technological things come up, and I'm the chief offender usually on that. So good job. And I just want to acknowledge all the staff. Thank you, all of you, for your passion. Electric plant, Bill at the resource recovery plant, as well as all our other staff members. This doesn't happen without people being really committed to it. And I was just thinking, as Bill's talking about the 17,000 pounds of pumpkins and the food waste diversion, all the Christmas trees that get collected, and that gets all ground up, and that's put on our park pathways. So I really think that our community is working extremely hard to be sustainable and reuse the products. I just think this is really a great presentation. Good job, very diverse. I was struck by the fact that, as Ron was talking about, McFarland Clinic, probably one of the larger facilities in the community of Ames. And then we got Nadav, and he's got the Morning Bell, which is probably one of the more smaller ones, and all the different sizes. So the point is, we can all join in and participate. So. And once again, to Robin, thank you for your presentation. It was really informative. And one slide that she showed, this is really a partnership in this Ames community. This past year has demonstrated how we can work together, from Iowa State to the medical community, to the Chamber of Commerce, to city and county businesses, residents, nonprofits. And you're all to be commended, and we're getting through what we're dealing with because of working together. And it's not just sustainability, but it's also caring for one another. And so it's a great community, great city, a great county to live in, and we got a very promising and great future. Again, thanks, Mary, for your efforts. Council is thrilled with your being our sustainability coordinator and the partnership. And there's a partnership too, for those who may not be aware, as Mary is a quarter time. Her time is paid for by the city, but then also she works for Iowa State. So there's a partnership there also. So we're all stronger because we're relying on one another's strength. So thank you very much for coming, and congratulations again to McFarland Clinic and Morning Bell, coffee. And we know we're going to see more coming to the forefront in the years ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Hala, for those wonderful, kind words. I think perfect way to end our time together. Thank you all again for joining us. We look forward to gathering together at Ryman Gardens next year. But in the interim, all the very best, and look for our follow-up email with all the information that we have talked about to share with you. And please don't hesitate to contact us at any time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.